These are my friends. They're, how best to put this? Us as a child, us in the future, and us as an alligator.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things you missed in Loki Episode 5.
I guess when you think the ends justify the means, there's not much you won't do.
Yeah, there are more important things, right?
Right? Yeah, like bringing down the TVA.
What will you do at the TVA?
Burn it to the ground!
For this list, we're looking at the Easter eggs, comic book references, and MCU callbacks you might have missed on this week's journey into mystery. Since we'll be talking about every detail, it's time to give a spoiler warning. Which of these Loki moments surprised you the most? And were you just as excited as we were when the existence of Throg, aka Frog Thor, was finally confirmed? Hop on down to the comments below and let us know. Number 10. President Loki and Sylvie have similar musical tastes.
Hello. Which one of us are you?
While Loki was exploring the land after time, he came face to face with a presidential version of himself. The presence of this god of mischief in chief alone is a fun callback to the Vote for Loki comics. But there's also a musical link between that political satire and the show. In the comic, Loki plays Bonnie Tyler's Holding Out for a Hero during a rally. Sylvie had the same song playing when she attacked the TVA agents back in episode 2. Although she and would-be President Loki had the legendary 80s tune as a soundtrack to their misdeeds, we know they can be good. We're holding out hope that Sylvie will become as heroic as classic Loki in the end. Number 9. The pizza car's license plate.
Can you shut the door? We still got a little bit of a situation here.
Mobius made a stunning save when he drove a pizza car to deliver Sylvie from evil. His cheesy chariot also bears a touching Easter egg. If you look at the license plate, the letters appear to be short for Grunwald. Mark Grunwald was a legendary icon at Marvel Comics who wrote many issues and helped keep the continuity of the universe in order. Mobius was created to resemble him to serve as a continuous homage to the creator. The Loki series previously gave a shout-out to Grunwald by starting an episode in his hometown of Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
This branch is still changing and growing, so you gotta show up in real time. Did you watch any of the training videos you were supposed to?
Having Mobius drive a vehicle with the creator's name is another great tribute to his legacy.
Thank you, my friend.
You're my favorite.
Number 8. Kid Loki's spooky 90s drink. After classic Loki tells his tragic tale, he leads his counterparts in a pessimistic toast.
Because we, my friends, have but one part to play. The god of outcasts. Nothing more.
While the adult variants appear to be sipping wine, the young god of mischief drinks High Seas Ecto Cooler. The appropriately green drink with Slimer's face was released around the same year Ghostbusters 2 hit theaters. Unfortunately for fans of the franchise, the drink was rebranded to get rid of Slimer's face in 1997 and eventually discontinued. The Loki variants clearly state that the world they're stuck in is a dumping ground for any item the TVA didn't want in the timeline.
Thank you.
This is the place where the TVA dumps its rubbish. Everything they prune.
And since Slimer was only on the High C drink in the 90s, it joins Josta as yet another retired 20th century drink that the show has paid homage to.
I'll have that drink now.
No. And I remember, I was there.
Number 7. Alligator Loki bites into many hand callbacks.
He's overly sensitive like the rest of us.
Hang on. You're telling me that thing's a Loki too?
Oh, yes.
In just 2 episodes, Alligator Loki has managed to become one of our favorite variants. The reptile definitely cemented his popularity when he bit off his presidential counterpart's hand.
Why the hell is there an alligator in here?
He's a Loki!
This hilarious scene could be a callback to the MCU's running trend of characters losing hands, or the time Loki pretended to injure one of his brother's arms in Thor: The Dark World. However, this biting incident also calls attention to another Tom Hiddleston role. He voiced James Hook in the 2014 Pirate Fairy film.
There's no stopping us. We'll plunder every port in all the 7 seas. Prepare to get underway, you scurvy scallywags.
Although the character is famous for losing his hand to a crocodile's bite, Hiddleston's Hook avoided that fate in the child-friendly film. It looks like it took an alligator to successfully chomp off this actor's hand. Number 6. Loki variants own the dangerous POLYBIUS game. One of the scariest things that the Loki variants own was the POLYBIUS arcade machine. According to urban legends, this mysterious game caused players to experience symptoms such as amnesia, hallucinations, and insomnia when it appeared in 1981.
I found a possible lead to POLYBIUS. If it's real, consider this a test to see what psychological effects it may have on me.
Men in Black allegedly used the machines to collect data on how the game affected its players.
Well, wait a minute. So you just flash that thing, it erases her memory, and you just make up a new one?
A standard issue neuralizer.
Around a month after the game showed up, it reportedly disappeared from existence. While the existence of POLYBIUS was never proven in the real world, the game has made cameos in fictional TV and internet series. A mysterious game sounds exactly like the kind of thing the TVA would prune from our timeline. If the LOKI'S ever invite you to play POLYBIUS, you should politely decline.
I wager that gives me a decent chance, as any.
You won't do either. You'll be brutally murdered.
Well, so be it. That was my destiny to begin with.
Number 5. Loki's legendary sword. Before Loki leaves for his dangerous encounter with ALIOTH, the kid variant encourages him to take a special sword.
Loki, you're gonna need this on your journey. Go on.
While it isn't officially named in the show, the fiery blade is likely Lavatane, which is also known by the less intimidating name Damage Twig. Loki's blade notably appeared in Norse myths as the only object capable of slaying a mystical rooster. Multiple versions of the character have also wielded Lavatane in the comics. Between Loki's mythological blade and newly gained enchantment skills, he's becoming a serious powerhouse.
How is he doing that?
I think we're stronger than we realize!
But we hope his cool sword doesn't lead him to completely abandon his iconic knives.
The blades are worthless in the face of a Loki sorcery. They stunt our magical potential.
But they look awesome.
Oh, yes.
Number 4. The Philadelphia Experiment.
ALIOTH is like any animal. He'll go after the big meal first. And while he's busy with that, we can sneak around the back.
The second major urban legend the show hinted at this week centered around what's known as the Philadelphia Experiment. In the 1940s, the U.S. Navy apparently tried to use special equipment to render a ship called the USS Eldridge invisible. But during one of their experiments, the researchers allegedly teleported the ship from Philadelphia to Virginia by accident.
There is a World War II destroyer on the runway.
USS Eldridge.
The Eldridge is back.
The crew of the USS Eldridge reportedly suffered a variety of horrendous fates thanks to these Navy tests. While there are many versions of this urban legend, Loki theorizes that one of them ends with the TVA sending the crew away to fight a losing battle against ALIOTH. We'd much rather be teleported to Virginia.
Okay. Maybe we, think a bit more about this, huh?
Number 3. A giant Ant-Man villain. We didn't have time to process the heinous crime Kid Loki committed before we saw hints of what was left of another Marvel villain that ended up in this mysterious land.
You'll do well to respect the boy. This is his kingdom.
Right. What was your Nexus event, Your Majesty?
I killed Thor.
If you pause around 8.5 minutes in, you'll spot a giant helmet that looks like it belongs to Yellow Jacket. This villain first appeared in 2015's Ant-Man. He was defeated when his suit was damaged by Scott Lang during a tense fight. Since Yellow Jacket seemed to shrink in the movie, a giant version of his helmet suggests there's a reality where he used one of Pym's discs to grow into a big threat. Hopefully, Spider-Man, Rhodey, and Tony were around to stop Yellow Jacket in that reality before the villain stepped on anyone.
Maybe the kid's onto something. Hi now, Tony, go high.
Number 2. The THANOS Copter. This episode featured several destroyed versions of iconic MCU vehicles. One of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s helicarriers may come from a timeline where the Avengers failed to stop it from falling.
Turbine looks mostly intact, but it's impossible to get out there to make repairs while we're in the air.
We lose one more engine, we won't be.
And while we can't tell where it's from, the presence of Ronan the Accuser's dark aster ship is a bad sign.
Evacuate the city. Our priority is to get our people away from the battle.
But the most hilarious vehicle to appear was the THANOS Copter. In the comics, the Mad Titan initially rode a helicopter to fight superheroes. He's eventually defeated and arrested by normal human police. We somehow doubt Thanos will arrive in that ridiculous vehicle on screen. The sharp weapon that looks like a helicopter blade that Thanos had in Endgame will probably be the closest we'll ever get to the THANOS Copter.
Create a new one, teeming with life, that knows not what it is lost, but only what it has been given.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. ALIOTH has a big link to Kang the Conqueror.
Now you said ALIOTH is what keeps us here. You said it's a living thing. You said it's a shark. Well, if it lives, it dies.
Fans got the figurative and literal biggest hint that Kang the Conqueror will appear when ALIOTH showed up. This terrifying entity was able to consume everything it set its eyes on. In the comics, Ravonna Renslayer revived Kang from a coma to combat ALIOTH. The Conqueror then sent a powerful being named Tempest to fight ALIOTH. While those two struggled against each other indefinitely, Kang's futuristic kingdom was kept safe from being consumed. This story mirrors Sylvie's view that the massive creature is protecting someone in the MCU.
I think the person we're after is beyond the void at the end of time. And if they are, that thing is just their guard dog protecting the only way in.
ALIOTH's appearance, a large fancy building in its void, and Ravonna Renslayer's presence all seem to point to Kang. We'll get confirmation on whether or not the Conqueror is behind the curtain in the finale.
This isn't about protecting the TVA at all, is it? You just want to find whoever's behind all of this, too.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.